Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Chris Irving in Kratom Kingdom with 540 something subscribers. Let's just help me make my goal 550. That would be amazing if I could get 550 by the next couple of videos. I am wearing an East Side hat because I'm representing the East Side this month. I don't know why. I think because it's prettier in the East during this time of year. All the colors are changing on the trees and it's just amazing in Knoxville right now. It's a little warm for us. You know, it's like in the 70s and 80s, which is a little bit warm. But I'm a South Florida boy, so that's why I wear hats. It's because with as little hair as I have left, I get sunburns on my head, so I usually will always have a cap on. Enough about me. Today I want to talk about kratom and addiction, because there's a lot of people that I talk to who say, isn't that addictive? It's like, no. Well, to be honest, it can be addictive. But like everything else in psychology or in the medical world is you have to weigh the cost of the benefit. You know, it's not physically addictive. You're not going to die if you don't have it. I mean, you'll go through a little bit of withdrawal sometimes. Like I've gone months with it, and then all of a sudden I'll run out, and I'll be waiting at the mailbox for them to come, and then shake and hope when it comes, it's like I instantly feel an air of relief and get to pound that stuff down again. So I try to keep as much of it in stock as possible, just so I have it so I have to wait 20 days to order it from somebody in Indonesia. An awesome farmer in Indonesia. I wish he was a little bit better tech savvy, or he actually had a website that he could manage, but he's just a poor farmer in Indonesia. And I'll make a video about him specifically and his farm. I think you'll find it pretty interesting. So anyway, if you would, hit the like button and the subscribe button and the notification bell. All those things would help me out immensely. I'm trying to make this channel actually reach more people, because I'm noticing the more subscribers I get, the more people are seeing my videos, which is really great, because I'm just talking about one subject all the time, kratom, but there's not a whole lot of real information. I spend my time watching other people in their kratom videos, and some of them are horrible. I mean, some lady names herself Natalie 2 Scoops or something. It's like, I guess it's supposed to be cool to take 2 scoops of toss and wash, or I'm not really quite sure. But her videos didn't really talk anything about kratom, just how she loved it so much, and it helped her get off her bigger drugs, that's part of the cost, or the benefit. I mean, when you're looking at the benefit, you know, okay, I'm on opiates for pain. So that's the benefit of that, is less, you won't need it as much. It makes your withdrawal a lot easier. You won't go through that horrible opiate withdrawal. You can go through it safely and without completely freaking out. I've done it twice, where, you know, I've gotten back on pain pills again, because there's just nothing that feels as good as a pain pill to some people, to me, you know, and I'm very addicted to stuff like that. So I got addicted to kratom pretty quickly. But again, the cost of it outweighs the benefit, or the benefit of it outweighs the cost. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm better off on it. Without it, it doesn't do anything physical harm to me at all. Drinking it doesn't affect my kidneys or liver or anything like that. It metabolizes through your body very easily. It gets to those awesome, it doesn't destroy your brain at all. Like, pain pills will drop off these things called alkaloids in your brain, and the alkaloids hit certain neurons, that's what your brain is made of. It's nothing but a whole big thing of jelly neurons, just a bunch of cells globbed together, and each one of those globs is like 100 billion of them when you're born. Excuse me, I've got a cold. And they bind to that, they attach to it, and So opiates, when they bind to it, it sends out a signal from the other end of the neuron to put out something that says, okay, here's relief from pain. Let me give you some dopamine. Let me give you some serotonin. Let me give you some more dopamine. Let me give you some adrenaline. And in my case with my stroke, my brain is constantly firing. It's always firing on the left side. So it's saying tight, 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 tight. So I walk with on the side of my foot, and my left arm is constantly bent. And I've been in a lot of pain today, so this is probably my 12th cup of Kratom, so if I doze off, you'll understand. Make no mistake, it is a drug. And any drug, with any drug, you can get addicted. Like coffee. Coffee is a drug, but the benefit of it outweighs the cost. Coffee's addictive. Energy drinks are addictive. Caffeine is highly addictive. Nicotine's addictive. So we have all these things. It's okay to be addicted to one thing, but it's not okay to be addicted to another. They'll sell cigarettes and Kratom tablets at the same counter sometimes. Yet you've got to be 21 to get cigarettes, or 18, I don't even know. I've bought them before. And with the Kratom pills, you could be 9, depending on the guy behind the counter, and he'll sell you the Kratom capsules, which I don't get any use out of them at all. They don't help me at all. They just give me a sorry, I've got bronchitis or a cold or something. Those little capsules, I've just never felt them. There's no consistency with it. I know when I make my tea and I put 5 grams in it, I know exactly how much I'm putting in there. I know what's in there. I know where it's coming from. I know it's all organic. I know it's all sustaining farmers. And it's better for the world. It's a hell of a lot better than popping pills all the time. I recently just broke my foot, and I went to my doctor, and because of an unfortunate incident that I had one night, I ended up sleeping in a very uncomfortable place. It was a concrete room, completely concrete, with about 60 other guys in there with me, who were all usually, tatted up gang members or whatever, and there's little me sitting in the middle of this room. And apparently I caught a disease called MRSA, which flows through my blood, and it's a staph infection in my blood. And I have a bleeding disorder too, which is really bad, because anybody who if my blood comes in contact with your blood, then you'll get MRSA. And MRSA is just an infectant, that if I get an infection on my foot, like I broke my foot, so I'm walking funny on it, which is creating huge blisters, open wounds with blood that come out every time I take a step. And then somebody else takes a step with bare feet over my bloody step, and then they too can get it. So it's just, the infection gets so bad that they have to cut my toe off. And I'm going to try to avoid the toes being cut off, so I keep my feet really, really clean, and my floors, no one can wear shoes anymore. I need to get a new carpet, which will be rad. I would much rather have a carpeted floor than this weird, thick wood laminate stuff. So, okay, let's just summarize. Kratom is a drug, just like coffee is a drug, just like cigarettes are a drug, and alcohol is a drug. You can't claim one and not the other. So you could say, well, yeah, you have to be 21 to buy all these. Well, I don't care if it's 21 to buy Kratom. That doesn't affect me one bit. Do I want my kid going to the store and buying it? What's he gonna do? Well, I don't think it would do very much to a young 16-year-old kid that's he's gonna get lifted. He's not gonna get lifted off of those cheap ass capsules that nobody has any idea how much is actually in those capsules, or what is in there. What are they cutting it with in the little capsules? You could be paying for baby powder or talc or something like that they mix in there to bulk it up, which is kind of ridiculous, because when you get it directly from a country like Indonesia, you see the bags, so it's just the tons of bags and the boxes, and so there's really no reason to cut Kratom. But I'm waiting for the first Kratom fentanyl thing happening, you know, because now that people are being stupid, like especially kids, you know, oh dude, we can get lifted, we can get high with this, you know, and they can't. I mean, the high's not that great. It's not worth the $10 for that little baggie of capsules made on somebody's living room table with a funky sticker on the label. So, yes, we've established that Kratom is a drug. There's no doubt about it. Science says it's a drug. It binds onto the same receptors as opiates. So opiates are a drug. So what makes one bad and the other not? There's really nothing wrong with opiates, you know, if they're taken responsibly. If you're a person who can take them responsibly, there's nothing wrong with opiates. But not all of us can do that, you know. A lot of us have doctors that'll manage us. There needs to be an alternative, because opiates are so addictive that we go to great lengths to get them. You know, we'll go to the streets and buy them, which is what I was doing before I found Kratom. And after I found Kratom, I haven't been on the street corner looking for narcos at all. I mean, I've been clean and sober for at least 20 years now. I haven't even had a beer. And so, okay, we've established that it is a drug, and it's also there's a lot more benefit to cost to it. So you have to weigh the cost and the benefit. And is it addictive? Yes. Like all drugs are addictive. It can be addictive. Is it a dangerous addiction? No. Can you die from the withdrawal from it? What is the withdrawal like? I'll make a whole nother video on withdrawal. It's quite interesting, actually. But I just knew I shouldn't have made a video today. I'm so sick. My mind's all scattered. But I haven't made one in a while, and I really enjoy making these videos. So if you would hit the like and subscribe button, that would be amazing. I would be very happy for it. I make a video almost every day on a different topic, just on Kratom, because there's so much misinformation out there. Everybody's making videos now on Kratom because it's the new high, you know, it's the new legal drug, and it doesn't give it the motivation behind it for me is it releases my pain. Sometimes there's a mild euphoria, very mild. I mean, so mild that, like, I've been drinking, this is my 12th cup today probably, so that's 5 grams for 12 cups, that's 62 grams of Kratom powder that I've been pounding down, sipping on this all day long. I'll fill this cup up, just drink it, fill it and empty it, fill it and empty it over and over again until my pain level's tolerable. And for anyone that says fibromyalgia is only a female disease, I beg to differ. You talk to my doctor, because she's a lot smarter than I am, and she says that yes, men can get fibromyalgia and it is a real disease. It's not just a made up illness by hypochondriacs who want to get pain pills. It is a real thing that causes chronic pain, and other people with chronic pain, Kratom is a really good resource. I mean, I have chronic pain that they prescribed 4 hydrocodones a day, one morning, noon, night, and one for bedtime, and it was like, I was so messed up all the time I couldn't even function. I mean, I was like, so finally I was like, hey, I can't do this anymore. I quit going to the pain clinic. And because it was just a drug, though, they were just selling me the drugs. But it's funny because they wanted me to urinate in a cup so they could get a drug test on me, and I physically cannot do it. As soon as they hand me the cup, I dry up, and nothing else, and I just can't do it. So I'm like, you're gonna have to use a catheter to get my urine, or take a blood test. I don't care. But you're getting nothing from my bladder because it won't happen. And unless I have terrible anxiety, and that's part of it. I have a lot of really interesting illnesses and weird curiosities. But anyway, you guys, it's been almost 15 minutes. You've listened to me jabber on. And so yes, Kratom is addictive. It's not a bad addiction though. It's an addiction that's very easy to overcome. And I'll talk about addiction in another video. and withdrawal and everything, and the important stuff, you know. Well, I've been taking Kratom for 10 years now, so let me see. In the 10 years that I've been taking Kratom, easily 10 years, I learned a lot, you know. I've gone up and gone down with it. I diaried it, you know, which is what my doctor encouraged me to do, because he's interested in it too, or she is interested in it too, because it's something that got me off of pain pills, you know, off of begging for pain pills. And it's like, wow, that's pretty impressive. Whatever it is, I'd like to know more about it. And like, you can't prescribe it because it's not even a scheduled drug yet. And he's like, yeah, well, either it's cannabis, and it will be soon, and I will prescribe that for you, Chris. And I'm like, and I will accept your prescription. Because again, that falls under the umbrella. Do you consider marijuana a drug? Or it's a plant that we smoke? I mean, is it a drug? Yeah. I mean, everything you put in your body that causes some sort of change in your neurons is a drug. You know, if you take mushrooms, they're a drug. You know. When I take a lot of Kratom, I get really itchy, which is a sign of a morphine, or people that are taking too much morphine. They get really itchy, which is why you'll notice morphine users will be scratching themselves. They just scratch their skin off their face because it's so itchy. So I think I take so much Kratom that it affects me like morphine, which is a nice mellow kind of, it just puts me in a mellow mood where I can just chill, you know. I'm not all psyched out, freaked out, my eyes wide open, you know. It just lets me be me, which is not a bad place to be. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow probably. We'll talk about the withdrawal process of Kratom. Alright, peace out people, love y'all.